These two UPS delivery drivers are fake, and when 7 minutes after entering this house, which is located in Coon Rapids in Minnesota, USA, they leave again, 3 of the 5 people who live in the house are dead. The Coon Rapids triple murder took place on the 26th of January 2024, and we're only able to see the footage because Midwest Crime published it on their channel in December 2025. The other murder cases presented in this video won't leave you any less shocked, horrified or sad. One case, for instance, being the murder of Sade Robinson. Over in Coon Rapids, Jorge Reyes Trejo, who's 20 years old, is just about to step outside to get his UPS parcel.
One of the victims steps out, apparently completely unaware the delivery is a setup.
Ain't no big dog, is it? Ain't no big dog, is it?
Not yet.
Hey, check it out. Come here. Don't move. Move your hand.
There, from friendly chit-chat with our man Jorge to pointing a gun at him and ordering him to surrender himself. One of the guys has just signalled to a third participant to come and join him and the other guy inside the house.
Come on.
Jorge's dad, the man struggling with 2 of the 3 burglars, isn't going down without a fight, but it's 2 against 1 and he hasn't got a hope. We can still praise the man's valour though. I'll also ask you at this point, if you're hooked on this video, to like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment when you're ready and donate. Hit the thanks button below, I'll appreciate you.
Una pistola, mijo. Tienen una pistola, mijo. 2 morenos.
This is the mother of Jorge and of both the 4-year-old boy and the 2-year-old boy in the room. Jorge has told her that there are 2 black guys in the house with guns, and that's what she just relayed to her 2 little boys. She was also able to quickly call 911, the US equivalent, in case you don't know, of 999 here in the UK, and then leave the call open so that the operator could hear what was going on and hopefully send the police round, which is what happens, but by then the damage is done.
Mom, yeah. Please. Don't do anything, please. Oh.
911, what's the address for your emergency? Hello?
Oh my gosh. Give me the money. And I ain't playing. Look. I know. Hey, Mario Alberto. Come on with the money, man.
Okay. Ow.
Stop playing with me.
Ow.
Give me the money.
Okay.
I'm gonna smack out you.
Please don't. I will give you whatever you want.
Go give me the money then.
Okay, that's all.
Come on. You get when you move
Oh
too.
my God.
Get up.
I'm getting up.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna smack out your son.
Oh, okay, I'm going.
Come on in.
Okay.
All right, where the money? Go get it. Get it. Go get it.
It's right here.
Get it. Come on. Open it.
Ah!
Don't move.
Hurry up.
We wish this was a film or anything other than real life. And right now, more than anything, we want to go over to the 4-year-old boy who's trying to fight one of the burglars off and pick him and his kid brother up and get them at least out of there, especially because of what's just about to happen.
Just hold it. Open. Where is it? This ain't all the man. You finna play with me, so I gotta get violated.
No, please
Okay.
don't. Like, that's all the money we have.
This ain't nothing.
That's all we have.
Okay.
Ow.
All right.
Ow. It's all we have. Oh my God, it's all we have. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no.
They just shot the father dead. His name was Mario Alberto Trejo Estrada and he was 39. We've all got so many questions at this point, including why this family was targeted and why the murderous intruders think they keep money in the house. I'll come back to this point, Mario himself potentially holding the key to that.
Where are my babies? Where are my babies?
That's all three adults shot dead. The 4-year-old was crying with shock and terror. The three antagonists were wholly unruffled. The fact that one of them has a baby of his own, as you'll soon see, clearly not moving that one at least to any degree of mercy for his victims. Understanding that something ugly and bad has just happened to his mother, the 4-year-old won't let his kid brother suffer the same trauma that he has. The police officers now come face to face with total carnage. Later that same day, they arrest 39-year-old Alonzo Mingo, the one who murdered Shannon and Mario. Sometime later, the police picked up brothers Demetrius Schumpert and Omari Schumpert, Omari being the one who pistol-whipped Jorge before shooting him dead. 2 days before the murders, on January the 24th, 2024 then, officers tracked Mario Trejo's truck to a storage facility in Golden Valley where, according to search warrants, they found marijuana, meth, mushrooms and white powder. Records also showed that Mario and Shannon had been sending money to Mexico. A drug dealer will often hold money in their home and, on account of this, some involved in the case believe that this is why the family was targeted. This isn't definitively proven, however, and we should keep in mind then that Mario, Shannon and Jorge are innocent victims who didn't, for a minute, deserve what happened to them.
Hey, buddy! I can see his diaper now. He's a little closer. No, he's pretty far in there. You see his diaper? See it on the ground.
I can't see past it.
Yep. Stay with the kid for now. We're gonna get you another kid here in a second. Hey, buddy, come here. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Kyle, cover me.
Hey, buddy, come here. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Kyle, cover me. Come here, buddy.
Come here. Come here. Come here. I need you to come with me.
We're trying to get the kid out.
Come here, bud.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy. Come here. Come here.
I got candies. Come on.
Come here. Come here. It's okay.
Come on.
It's okay.
Come on.
Come here.
Come
here,
on,
kiddo. Come here, kiddo.
Come here. 1309, you've got 2 more cars coming to the area. 31.
Come here, bud.
Demetrius Schumpert can't see the contradiction between being the father of a small child and taking part in 3 murders that are carried out in front of 2 small children.
Okay. On the door there was a camera. And you had gloves on, you had a mask on, but we're still able to tell it's you.
With a mask on.
Yeah. Okay. And then, who'd you wave up?
I didn't wave nobody.
You're sitting in the car and you waved him up.
You said I was sitting in the car?
No, he was sitting in the car. The third person was sitting in the car and you waved him up.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who that was. I don't know who that was with no mask on, but it showed it wasn't me.
There's also audio. And you can be heard on there saying, "Ain't no big dog, is it?"
What?
Ain't no big dog, is it?
What do that mean? Ain't no big dog, man.
Not yet.
You tell me. Can you say that?
Why would I say it? What do that mean?
That's what you said when you were there. And you also have a very distinct voice.
I don't say nothing like that. I don't know what that mean. What do that mean? Yeah, the 26th. That's the 26th. That's the day I couldn't go to work because I had my baby with me.
Okay.
And my baby mama, she wasn't trying to come get him. And I didn't go to work on that day.
Okay. Where were you?
I was in the house.
Is that what you're gonna go with? That's what you're gonna stick with? You were never at the house or anything?
No, I wasn't at the house. I see the photos that you got.
Yeah, I can get you still photos of it. Give me this one. You can grab it. You can hold it if you want.
I don't hold it.
You don't need to.
And that supposed to be me or somebody else?
I know it's you. I can print off a couple more, but I don't know if that's going to convince you or not. But just so you know, I'm not lying to you.
I know you ain't lying.
On any of this. Okay?
As someone who knows nothing about human psychology, I can't answer how the three perpetrators could kill so casually and so remorselessly and do so for so little. The state of Minnesota doesn't have the death penalty. In September 2025, Mingo got life without parole. The Schumperts are due to be sentenced in January 2026 and are expected to get the same sentence as Mingo. The two little boys are being raised by their grandparents. Anselam Senaj, the victim of our next case, was hacked to death by a gang of 6 in the back of a car. Yes, another shocking and horrific case. This is the moment when 26-year-old Anselam Senaj, sorry if I've mispronounced his name, was ambushed in a taxi yards away from his home on the 11th of November 2023. His is the story of a well-planned targeted strike, a brutal murder perpetrated in a matter of seconds in the back of a Toyota Prius on the streets of East London, and it was all over drugs. At 9:51 p.m. on the said date, a silver Toyota Prius taxi picked Anselam up from Stratford Station. Before long, the taxi also picked up Anselam's cousin, who we'll call Joe, at Forest Gate, enabling the two young men to travel together. Joe, though, appears to have got out again before Anselam did so, Victoria Avenue in East Ham, where Anselam lived, being where he got out. Suddenly, before he reached Aldgate House, where his flat was, he saw a silver Mitsubishi driving straight towards him. The car accelerated, pulling into the parking area, clearly coming for Anselam. Anselam knew he was in danger and he knew why, and I'll soon say more on that point, even though I've basically said the essence of it. It was all about drugs. Anselam's taxi was still there because Anselam had only stepped out of it just moments before. Having reached it again and jumped inside, he spoke with obvious panic and terror when he told the driver, quote, "Brother, let's go, they will kill me." Straight after that, he offered the taxi driver extra money to drive away as fast as he could. Just as the driver, whose name is Mohammed Ullah, started to move off though, the Mitsubishi swiftly came up and overtook his taxi, and then, with chilling, deliberate precision, the Mitsubishi swerved, cutting sharply across the Prius's path, blocking its way, forcing it to stop. What unravels next was a lightning-fast, brutal assault. 3 young men pulled out of the Mitsubishi, all wearing masks, hoods and gloves, 2 of the men wielding knives or sticks estimated to be 1.5 to 2 feet long, and with those knives or sticks they initially attacked the Prius. One assailant ran to the far side, blocking Anselam's desperate attempt to escape from the rear passenger door, and then that same assailant aggressively ordered Anselam to get out of the car. In the meantime, Mohammed, the taxi driver, exited the vehicle, moving to the curb where he was safe because the attackers had no interest in him whatsoever. Anselam was who they wanted, and sure enough, seconds after the gang spilled out of their Mitsubishi and went straight to the Prius, Anselam suffered, as he sat in the taxi, numerous stab wounds, 2 to his chest and several more to other parts of his body. Moments later, the gang was gone. They had all jumped back into the Mitsubishi and sped off into the night, disappearing down Grangewood Street. Mohammed then immediately called 999 and emergency services rapidly arrived, but Anselam was already dead. Paramedics found the man slumped in the back seat with no pulse and with fixed pupils. Their subsequent efforts to resuscitate him were in vain, one of the stab wounds to Anselam's chest having severed Anselam's aorta, immediately causing fatal hemorrhaging. That stab wound was all of 27 centimetres deep, and it had traversed Anselam's entire chest, damaging both his lung as well as his heart. The investigation into Anselam's murder was aided significantly by the surveillance cameras covering both the location of the crime and other local streets. Through the footage captured, police were able to identify 4 of the attackers as Mohammed Saqib Khan, aged 24. He was the one who delivered the fatal stab wound. Mohammed Samuel Mia, 19, Zain Ali, 22, and Ibrahim Naeem, 18. The Mitsubishi, meanwhile, was found to have been stolen. Its plates, accordingly, were false, and police discovered that it had regularly been parked in Ronnie Lane, a short distance from Mia's home. A resident called Nadeem Ajaz reported seeing 2 young men in the Mitsubishi, one of whom had pointed towards Jack Cornwall Street, again near Mia's address. The point in question was, of course, the night of the murder. The phone records of the perpetrators uncovered extensive contact between the 6 men throughout November the 11th and November the 12th. Cell site analysis showed their phones co-locating across East London, confirming their presence together both before and after the murder. A pivotal piece of evidence came from CCTV recovered from a cab office on Catherine Road. At approximately 8 p.m, just 2 hours before Anselam's murder, all 6 defendants were clearly captured entering the taxi office, the 2 that we haven't yet met, who were in the Mitsubishi at the time of the murder, but who ended up not being convicted of any offences relating to the murder, being Essahak Yusuf and Khalis Malik. The gang waited for 18 minutes, making calls, smoking vapes, and even being told not to muck about by the taxi operator. It was here that Naeem was seen passing a vape to Mia, the same type of vape that was later found at the crime scene and which contained both their DNA profiles. Unable to get a taxi from that particular cab office, Khalis Malik booked one with Alphabet Cars. The records showed the booking made under the name Pabs, a name that Malik was known by, with his phone number. The 6 men were then picked up and driven to Warrior Square. From Warrior Square, the Mitsubishi's journey became a complex web. After dropping some passengers off, Mia was seen returning home and then emerging minutes later in a mask and wearing a different coat. The Mitsubishi, now with its cloned plates on it, reversed out of Ronnie Lane near Mia's address and began an intricate route through East London. At 9:25 p.m, the Mitsubishi pulled into a Shell garage on High Street North. CCTV captured Ali fueling the car while Mia, still in his distinctive Nike tracksuit and wearing a medical mask and blue latex gloves, paid the cashier. At 10:08 p.m, Mia, Ali, Naeem and Khan were chasing Anselam's taxi in their own vehicle down Victoria Avenue, and you know what happened next. The next evening, November the 12th, the Mitsubishi was burned to bits under a bridge. On this same date, Khan attempted to flee the country from Heathrow Airport on a flight to Bahrain. Appearing nervous and agitated, he claimed to officers that his grandmother was ill. Officers, though, discovered that he was on bail for offences unrelated to Anselam's murder, of course. Khan actually has a number of previous convictions. One of the conditions of his bail was that he should reside at his home address. He was given the option to voluntarily offload, and he did. However, 2 days later, the man fled to Amsterdam via Eurotunnel, but he was extradited in January 2024 back to England. Even though Khan was the one who actually killed Anselam, owing to the laws relating to accessorial liability, which say that accomplices are as liable for an offence as the principal offender, all 6 gang members were charged with Anselam's murder. All 6 pleaded not guilty. Given this, none of them explained why they did what they did to Anselam. We know, as I briefly mentioned at the beginning, that it was over drugs, but the specifics aren't clear. All prosecutor Alexandra Healy KC, for her part, could affirm at trial was that, quote, "It appears from the drugs subsequently found on Mr. Senaj and messages received from his phone that he was involved in drug dealing. When Mr. Senaj saw the Mitsubishi coming toward him, he clearly recognised that he was in danger and told the taxi driver that the occupants would kill him. Sadly, he was absolutely right in his assessment of their interest." At the Old Bailey in April 2025, Malik and Yusuf were acquitted of Anselam's murder. The convictions duly gained by the remaining 4 defendants, meanwhile, exposed a shocking and horrific twist to one of the 4. Having been cleared of murder but convicted of manslaughter, Ali, who also stole Anselam's phone, was jailed for 14 years. Having been convicted, like Ali, of manslaughter, Naeem got 10 years and 6 months. Convicted of murder, ringleader Khan got life with a minimum of 26 years. As for Mia, he might have got less than the 25-year minimum term of his life sentence that he was given if it hadn't been for his previous act of knocking a girl out in a North London park in March 2023 in the course of his accompanying hour-long grape of the victim, who was only 15. A date with death. That's what the victim of our next case suffered. She walked straight into her murderer's twisted trap. Sometime after Maxwell Anderson gets Sade Robinson, a 19-year-old student, into his apartment at the end of their very first date, he takes murder pictures of her, the exact way in which he kills her being, to this day, unknown. Less than 24 hours later, one of Sade's legs is found on a beach, with clear evidence that it was sawn off her body. Over the next few days, the 2 arms, the torso, and one of the breasts belonging to Sade are found. In killing and dismembering his date and then scattering her body all over the city of Milwaukee, USA, Maxwell Anderson, a 33-year-old bartender, was fulfilling his twisted, long-held fantasy. It's the early evening of the 1st of April 2024. Sade is heading out for what she thinks is just a first date with a local bartender. The 2 got chatting at the man's place of work 3 nights before. For the date that they're now going on, they decide on seafood at Twisted Fisherman. They grab seats at the bar, order their meal, and sit and talk for about an hour, and the date is going great. Next, they get into Sade's black Honda Civic and head to a nearby bar. Around 6:30 p.m, Sade sends her friends a Snapchat message reporting that everything is fine. She and Anderson have a few more drinks and play some beer pong. Then, at 9:24 p.m, they're round at Anderson's. Anderson lives on the top floor of a duplex owned by his father, and Anderson himself manages it. What happened to Sade inside that address is vastly unclear, except for the obvious. The unfortunate young woman met her end at the hands of her psychopathic date. Downstairs, meanwhile, the tenant notices something strange. Silence. Anderson, you see, is usually noisy, always up late, always using power tools for his woodworking projects.
On the stand Monday was Pete Warbington. He lived below Maxwell Anderson in his duplex on Milwaukee's south side. Warbington paid rent to him every month, and his landlord was Maxwell Anderson. He says living there was fine for the first year, but then Anderson became increasingly disruptive, often bringing over people after bar close who were loud, and he was constantly working on home improvement projects. Warbington is a self-described light sleeper and says he didn't hear anything out of the ordinary the week of Robinson and Anderson's first date. Warbington says the only time he heard a commotion was early in the morning the week Anderson was arrested, of what sounded like a big bag being packed. He cannot pinpoint what day that week, though.
Had you seen him in that 2-week span?
No.
So you hadn't seen him?
No.
Did you hear him?
I did not hear him up until I heard him. On which day, I'm not exactly certain, but it was definitely the week before the cops came and pulled me out of my house.
At some point in Anderson's flat, Netflix gets turned on, the choice of programme being Love, Death and Robots. In the finale of season 2 of this show, a corpse is dismembered on the beach. Watching this show is a way, perhaps, for the killer to whet his appetite for what he's about to do to his date, unless he's already butchered Sade by now. Around 11:30 p.m, Anderson drives his date's car over to a park that overlooks Lake Michigan. When he reaches a locked gate near the pump house, he rams the car through it. According to prosecutors, the said park is where Anderson methodically dismembers his date's dead body. Just before 5:30 p.m. that same day, one of Sade's legs is discovered on a bluff near the shoreline of a nearby beach, the pink nail polish on the toenails remaining in place.
So they walked down the S-curve from Sheridan, started walking south just for fun, rough day on the beach. As they were walking, see that leg right there? Yeah. Said that it was up about approximately where the end of that stick, branches. By the bushes right there. Yeah, bushes, said that they saw it up there.
So it's like up on the hill, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
So said that him and his buddy, who's in my squad right now, walked out, called us. And then when we came back, it was about, maybe 7 feet east on the rock. I moved it just for evidence purposes.
Okay, so this gets swept away?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I documented it well on body cam with different angles of where it was.
Okay, cool. All right, we got a...
You want to tell me where it is?
What's your name again, bud?
Evan.
Evan? Okay, Evan.
As regards the beach in question, people who know the perpetrator say that the man used to call it his secret beach, as it was so well concealed and, as such, hardly visited. Meanwhile, Sade's car, a black Honda Civic to remind you, has been found ablaze. Someone had seen a man set fire to it and then walk away. Even though the car is totally burned out, when police arrive and start investigating, in the trunk they find Sade's jeans, her white top, her ID and what's left of her phone. After setting Sade's car on fire, Anderson got a bus back home, arriving at 8:45 a.m. At 11:12 a.m, he clocked in at work as if it was just another day and just another shift. Just before now, though, he sent Sade a text asking how work was going in a bid, clearly, to cover his tracks even further. Anderson had a record of battery and domestic abuse and was, correspondingly, the kind of guy who gave women the creeps. He used to be a high school football star, he did a stint in the Navy and then got a job in his dad's insurance company. He also took up bartending on the side to meet women, including his last date. Sade worked at a pizza restaurant to support herself through her studies. In a rather cruel and ironic twist to her story, at the point of her murder, she was about to graduate with a degree in criminal justice. Everyone loved Sade, her mother, sister and father, I'll tell you now, having been left totally distraught by what happened to her.
When Maxwell Anderson murdered my sister, he redefined my definition of misfortune. No amount of financial hardships, disputes, or everyday struggles were even in the same realm as the effect of the loss he created. But most importantly, he stole Sade's chance to be an adult, to choose who she would and would not let into her life, to prioritize herself for the first time and do what makes her happy. He makes me feel extra anger because he still shows no regret and sits here looking stupid without an ounce of guilt for what he did.
My daughter was everything. She was everything to all of us. As my baby explained, she had a different impact in each and every one of our lives. There's so many strangers and individuals in the community that I have engaged and met that she has touched and impacted.
She lit up every room she walked into. To lose your child in this manner is unthinkable.
Sade was dependable. She showed up. So when she didn't come into work that day and didn't answer her phone, her colleagues rapidly reported her missing. For their part, police rapidly learned that the last number that Sade ever messaged was Anderson's. They caught Anderson on the 4th of April 2024 in the course of a traffic stop.
Southbound Hampton on, 45 southbound Hampton on for Apollo return for highway versus Chicago.
Any weapons items, sir?
No.
Head on, stop.
What's going on?
Good. Somebody just radio it.
124 dispatch.
Stow. I'll let you know what's going on. The key still in the ignition?
Yes. 124, yeah, one in custody.
I sent the paperwork home, then I can go to, the DMV.
132 dispatch.
I'm just gonna unbutton this just to search. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Said nothing on you at all, right? Nothing's gonna poke me or anything like that?
Service 1317 hours. Last name of Banks. First name of Ronald. Middle initial spelled as in Lincoln C16. Copy that. 132 dispatch on it. 132, go ahead. You started told me first. Alright, you give me the address and now you give me a plate. I gotta go to a different street. Go ahead with the plate again. Wisconsin, Adam Mary Robert, 8083. And I'm sorry, 68.
Yeah, we're good.
80.
After getting the perpetrator into custody, investigators searched the man's home expecting to find a horror scene. They found a knife sitting in the kitchen sink, an axe hanging on the living room wall, women's clothes not belonging to Sade in the basement, and some blood on the wall which turned out not only not to be Sade's but also not even to be human blood. It came rather from the perpetrator's dog. As for the women's clothes, their owner remains untraced. Anyway, there is no horror scene of any kind. We know, however, that the perpetrator planned to murder and that he specifically targeted Sade as his victim. On the 5th of March 2024, you see, nearly a month before the murder, Anderson took a friend of his, who we'll call Mike, down to his basement and showed him the 2 rooms to be found there. There was one with a card table and a TV, and another covered in plastic from floor to ceiling, a sanitation sink in that room also being covered in the same way, and with no fewer than 3 saws out in the open. Anderson allegedly told Mike that he intended to kill Sade and that he would use a gun to force her down to the basement, and that he planned on shooting Sade and then dismembering her body in the room before disposing of her body throughout the city. However, as I've already shown, when police searched Anderson's home, they found no trace of either Sade or any kill room, if you like. Supposing, though, that Mike was making up what he said, the perpetrator's preparation for murdering Sade is no less evident. On the 12th of April, police charged Anderson with murder and mutilation. They soon found that the man had photos on his phone, which the man thought he'd irretrievably deleted, showing Sade lying face down on a sofa with her jeans and knickers pulled down, leaving her bottom fully exposed. The man also had a picture showing him touching Sade's right breast. That same breast was later found dumped.
You were able to tell that in the 10 o'clock hour, it looks like on 5 occasions the camera on the phone was activated?
Correct.
Those images?
They are photos that I found within the download of Mr. Anderson's phone.
Way too graphic to show on television, but were shown to the jury Thursday. One depicting a person's bare backside with underwear and jeans pulled down.
Why was this of note to you?
Because Sade was wearing light colored pants along with a light color underwear that was recovered.
Then they saw this one, a black woman with a cream colored sweater like the one Robinson was wearing that night, laying face down on a couch like the one in Anderson's living room. The image shows a hand grabbing her exposed breast.
Which breast is exposed? Left or right?
Believe the right.
The jury knows from previous testimony, Robinson's right breast was severed from her torso.
I don't know if she's alive or dead or sleeping. I can't tell from this photo.
At trial, Anderson didn't testify and his defence team didn't call any witnesses. The man's defence was simply that he didn't do it.
I would like to start by saying that from the bottom of my heart, my deepest and most sincere condolences go out to Sade's family, as well as everyone else affected by this tragedy. That being said, Your Honor, I took this to trial without ever once trying to make a plea deal of any kind, because I did not commit these crimes. And so I plan to appeal my convictions while I hope and pray that further investigations not only prove my innocence, but find and deliver true justice.
The prosecution, though, had stacks of CCTV showing both his and Sade's date and that Sade was never seen again after she entered the man's address.
The evidence will show that what happened to Sade Robinson that night was not an accident. One does not end up going out to dinner and then going out for drinks on Water Street for a good time to being dead and cut up into pieces and discarded into Lake Michigan unless someone intends for that to happen.
The prosecution also had the man's murder pictures of Sade, testimony from Mike, and other important evidence against the perpetrator. On the 6th of June 2025, after a deliberation of just 30 minutes, the jury found Anderson guilty of Sade's murder and of all his other charges. All the jurors later avowed that the pictures on the perpetrator's phone, which I've referenced, sealed the man's conviction, the man's sadism, viciousness and remorselessness speaking loud and clear through those pictures. In August 2025, Anderson got life without parole. Pouring boiling water over a man's naked bottom, disfiguring his face, kicking, stomping and battering the you-know-what out of him. These were just some of the methods of murder used in our next case. What you're seeing in this footage is 38-year-old Manchester drug dealer Thomas Campbell being forced into his home in Tameside by rival drug dealer 27-year-old John Belfield, along with two others. It's the 2nd of July 2022, and it takes the trio around 40 seconds, plus multiple acts of kicking, punching and whacking to get Thomas inside. The acts of torture and humiliation that the gang then perpetrates against Thomas over the following 2 hours include their act of stripping the man naked and pouring boiling hot water over his naked bottom. With the gaffer tape that they bought from B&Q 2 days before, the 3 attackers tie Thomas's wrists and ankles up before cutting parallel lines across his face. The reason for that particular piece of violence I'll soon explain. The assailants' act of dressing with a tourniquet, a stab wound that they had inflicted on Thomas's right arm, which could have killed Thomas quite rapidly, was in order to delay the man's death until they were done savaging him. Thomas had blunt force injuries to his head coming from the abundant punching and kicking that his attackers did to that part of his body. He had injuries to his neck that were caused by strangulation. His numerous knife wounds were by no means limited to his face and his right arm. In the course of his 2 hours of torture, the man was dragged from room to room in a bid for him to show his attackers where his drugs were. In total, Thomas suffered 61 individual injuries. Just before 1 a.m, the 3 assailants finally left his home. At this point, on the verge of death, Thomas mustered up the strength to call 999. Sadly, though, he was too severely injured to answer the call handler's questions, and moments later, he was no more. If all ringleader and lead attacker John Belfield wanted to achieve by murdering Thomas Campbell was to eliminate his competition for the Manchester drugs trade, wasn't his prolonged murderous assault on Thomas somewhat extreme? Those 2 hours of torture against his victim that he both instigated and led feel arguably more personal than business driven, if you will. So what exactly did John Belfield have against Thomas Campbell? The judge of Belfield's trial, which took place at Manchester Crown Court and was concluded in July 2025, found as a fact that Belfield had enjoyed torturing Thomas. Not only was he eliminating a rival drug dealer, he was also revenging himself on both his love rival and the man's new lover, Belfield's own ex-girlfriend, whose name is Demi Lee Driver. The words of the judge, Mr. Justice Garnham, were, quote, "I have no doubt that the fact that Miss Driver was now the partner of Mr. Campbell was an important part of your motivation for what you did on the 2nd of July. You suggested in evidence that you were being sarcastic when you described yourself by means of emojis as heartbroken after she took up with Thomas Campbell. I conclude that that is exactly what you felt. You wanted Thomas Campbell to suffer. I have no doubt that you took pleasure from his pain," unquote. Belfield and his accomplices' reasons for etching lines into Thomas's face was to ensure that no woman would want him even if he happened to survive their attack. In a notably warped and shocking twist, Belfield had received enormous help in his murder plot against Thomas Campbell from none other than the mother of Thomas's 2 children, Colleen Campbell, Thomas's ex-wife. What had led to Thomas's and Colleen's divorce was Thomas's affair with Colleen's best friend, who we'll call Tammy. When Colleen found out about her husband and her best friend, she was furious, which led her, amongst other things, to go round to Tammy's house and trash her car. After the divorce, Colleen started treating Thomas well again, but was secretly still full of anger and hatred for him. As such, when, in June 2025, Belfield got in touch with Colleen via Instagram regarding getting back at Thomas, he of course found the woman more than happy to collude with his vicious plan. With the information provided by Colleen relating to Thomas's lifestyle and daily movements, Belfield was able to get a tracker fitted to Thomas's van and to do a recce, an inspection visit that is, of the man's home from the outside. Colleen got 13 years for her part in her ex-husband's murder, the woman having been sent down in February 2023. Stephen Cleworth, a 39-year-old career criminal who didn't lay a finger on Thomas Campbell but who planted the tracker on his van and assisted with his murder in other ways as well, got 12 years. Reese Stephen, another serial offender who was one of the 3 who tortured Thomas Campbell to death, got 37 years. As for why Belfield only went on trial in summer 2025, straight after murdering Thomas, the man ran off to Suriname in South America. In November 2022, however, he got himself banged up for none other than drug dealing, which led to UK police learning of his whereabouts and then arresting him in March 2024 at Manchester Airport when, having got out of prison in Suriname, he was shipped back home. On the 4th of July 2025 at Manchester Crown Court, Belfield, then aged 31, got life with a minimum of 37 years minus both the time that he'd spent on remand and, rather surprisingly, the 481 days that he had spent in prison in Suriname. This was all because of the diabolical conditions that he suffered in prison in Suriname, conditions which apparently make UK prisons feel like a picnic. He's still got around 35 years as a minimum to serve though. Of all the ways to spoil your sister's wedding, running her over and killing a complete stranger in the process has got to be the most devastating choice. Let's see the case.
On the afternoon of the 27th of December in 2023, Chris Marriot went for what should have been one of many walks with his young family over the Christmas period, but he never came home. His life was tragically and violently cut short as he stopped to help a woman laid in the road.
In December 2023, Hassan Jhangur, 25, murdered Chris Marriot when he deliberately rammed his car into a crowd of people during a brawl at his sister's wedding reception in Burngreave, Sheffield. He literally made his sister's wedding a blood wedding. The incident took place in College Court in Sheffield, where the groom's family live, and the groom's family are the Khans. When I reference anyone with the name Khan, I'm talking mainly about the adult children rather than their parents. The two families, the Jhangurs and the Khans, were basically feuding, even though they had members of their family who were about to get married. But that was exactly what the feud was all about. Both families were happy about their respective son and daughter tying the knot, but they were locked in a nasty battle over, you're never going to believe this, the date and venue of the wedding. Prior to the wedding, Amani had argued with her mother, Ambreen Jhangur, shortly before Hassan Khan, her husband-to-be, arrived to collect her from Whiteways Road. In the event, none of Amani's family attended the wedding ceremony, which for me speaks to the anger and resentment that Amani's family, the Jhangurs, were feeling towards either their daughter or their soon-to-be in-laws or both. After the wedding, Amani and Hassan went back to the Khan family home to celebrate with other members of the Khan family. Hassan Khan himself went out for a while with his brother Hussein. While they were out, at about 1 p.m, Ambreen Jhangur, that is Amani's mother, drove over from her home to the Khan family's home area, first of all with her son-in-law, not Hassan Khan but another one, and then a second time with Nafisa, her daughter, Amani's sister. On each of the two occasions, upon arrival in the close, Ambreen Jhangur took out from the boot of her car black bin bags containing Amani's clothes and belongings and threw them onto the driveway of number 1 College Court, the Khan family home. Riazat Khan and other members of the Khan family came out of the house, and an argument ensued between Riazat Khan and Ambreen and Nafisa, the Jhangurs. This developed into a physical fight, basically, in the course of which Nafisa was knocked to the ground. On receiving news that his sister had been assaulted, Hassan Jhangur armed himself with a lock knife and drove to College Close and accelerated up the hill at speed. Seeing Risa Khan standing in the road in front of Nafisa and the other helpers, he deliberately drove into him before running over the group on the ground, trapping both Chris Marriot and Nafisa, his own sister who he had come to avenge, under the car and seriously injuring others. Chris Marriot suffered catastrophic injuries and died at the scene, having come along only to try to break up the fight and just calm everyone down. He was literally being a good Samaritan, a concerned member of the public. Moments later, a chaotic fight erupted. As people rushed into the street, Hassan Jhangur briefly remained in his crashed vehicle before getting out and confronting members of the Khan family. Hassan Khan arrived carrying a baseball bat, and in the ensuing fight, Hassan Jhangur stabbed him multiple times, causing serious injuries. Shortly after the stabbing, Mohammed Jhangur, Hassan Jhangur's father, arrived in a taxi. Before police arrived, Mohammed took the knife off his son and hid it in his own car. However, police officers soon found it. Emergency services worked to free those trapped under the car. In addition to Chris Marriot's death and murder, multiple victims, including Alison Norris, Rizat Khan, Ambreen Jhangur and Nafisa Jhangur, sustained severe or life-threatening injuries. Hassan Jhangur was arrested and charged with murder, as well as a number of other offences.
Real hand.
Yeah, but I walk from the window, he's broken my window though.
Right, stand there.
I'm over the door.
You don't have to say anything, but it may have your defence to do without mention. When questioned, something which is held around in court, anything you do to me,
I'm behind your back.
I'm behind your back. 6-1 Tango. I've got one detained for driving this vehicle.
Brad, knife.
Got it.
I can confirm that Amani and Hassan Khan are still married today. What I can't tell you, however, is whether Nafisa Jhangur and her mother Ambreen are speaking to Hassan, their Hassan that is. In his subsequent trial, Hassan Jhangur was found guilty of murder plus other offences including wounding with intent. As you might imagine, the judge was full of reproach and condemnation for Hassan Jhangur.
As regards aggravating features of this offence,
First, the use of the car as a weapon on the spur of the moment to commit the murder is a serious aggravating factor which warrants a substantial increase to this starting point. Secondly, the fact that Chris Marriot, a passerby, was engaged in the public-spirited and selfless act of assisting a young woman who was lying apparently unconscious in the street is a further aggravating factor of the offence. Moreover, the 2 further offences of wounding with intent and the 3 offences of causing grievous bodily harm with intent in relation to the 4 others that you hit with your car, that is Riasat Khan, Alison Norris and your mother and your sister, and the stabbing of Hassan Khan, warrant a further substantial increase in the minimum term.
Chris Marriot's widow and children are understandably devastated by the loss of their husband and father respectively.
Bryony misses his smile, his laugh, his touch, his wisdom and his encouragement. He was her best friend and she's thankful to have loved him and to have been loved by him.
On the 6th of November 2025, Hassan Jhangur was sentenced at Sheffield Crown Court to life with a minimum of 26 years. His father, Mohammed Jhangur, was separately convicted of the offence of perverting the course of justice, coming from his act of nicking the knife off his boy and trying to hide it, and he got a 6-month sentence, suspended for 2 years. If this video has gripped you, I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.